Welcome to Soulful Conversations with Nadjejda. My name is Nadjejda Chapoteau. I am an empowerment and confidence coach, spiritual teacher, and speaker. I am passionate about dancing. If you follow me on social media, you see me dancing quite a lot to the point that people think I teach. I teach Zumba. I'm a former Zumba instructor, not anymore. I am also passionate about social justice, politics, making a difference, specifically making a difference in causes that matter to me, like empowering women and children in my homeland, Haiti, some political and social justice movement. I'm also passionate about in making a difference and really empowering women and reconnecting with their true selves, loving themselves, embracing who they are, and sharing themselves boldly with the world. I'm also passionate about nature, spiritual growth, and love. As a coach, I help purpose-driven women entrepreneurs experience ease, clarity, fun, confidence in their businesses by discovering their message and finding their niche. I have my guest today, which is really exciting. Her name is Celia Faye Meisel. She is a marketing and mindset coach and Akashic Empowerment expert for high-frequency business owners. She supports her clients to connect with their strengths and gifts so that they offer services and programs that are easily marketable because they are aligned and purposeful. Really love that. Thank you for joining me today, Celia.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I know. And actually, so I was telling Celia before we started, maybe I need to put my glasses on. And I realized, I was like, oh, but wait a minute. I don't have to introduce myself with my glasses. And then I didn't even use the glasses.
That's funny.
Isn't that funny? So, yeah, so Celia is like, she truly believes that we can make an impact. We can really make an impact in the world. And we can make an impact. It's all about making a decision and it starts with really transforming ourselves first. And I really am a firm believer of that. So tell me about, for Celia, did you always think like this?
No, I did not. I did not.
All of us, right? We never think, yeah.
Yep, a lot of hard lessons got me to that point. And I feel that message really, it just brings a sense of urgency to the work that we do, that I think that we can kind of get caught up in belief systems, or that things are going to be done for us, and rather than taking that empowered action within ourselves. And so I really like to lead with that with my audience, just to let them know, like, we have to do it now. We have to start making the change now.
Yes, totally. So tell me, for you, could you share with us, was there a moment where things just kind of clicked for you and you were like, okay, you know what? I have to do this for me first. So how was there a moment, or maybe a series of moments, obviously you don't have to share every single one of them, but yeah. Can you think of a time where that's when sort of like that light bulb came on?
Yes, actually it was a moment over 4 months. It was multiple months, and I had already been in my coaching business for a while, and had received a lot of mentorship and a lot of support, and had success, had really made great money, and I found myself burned out, like many coaches do. And it was sort of like the antithesis of why I started my business. I started it for freedom and empowerment, all of those things. And I realized that I had given so much of myself to everybody else that I wasn't using my intuition for myself. I wasn't using my healing for myself. I wasn't using my Akashic Records and my marketing skills for myself. It was like every time I learned something, I would take it on and then feel like I immediately had to give it away and sell it, and I was conditioned to do that because that's how I was in my last business. I've been an entrepreneur since 2008, and really since a child, always doing little jobs and starting little businesses. But I found that I was just giving and giving and not taking that time for myself. And I found that all of the women and men that I had supported, mostly I support women, but all of the entrepreneurs I had supported really suffered with the same thing, that they were giving so much time and energy and effort to the business and to the client and not fulfilling their own needs. And then therefore they weren't hitting the income goals or having the sustainable success that a business needs to have to continue to stay open.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say, I love that, is that basically if we're not taking the time to take care of ourselves, then in some way we're not really able to teach people the same, right? It's sort of like talking our talk, right?
Yep.
I mean, walking our talk.
Yep.
Totally. So for you, like when you realized that, were there some steps what kind of steps did you start taking to?
Well, I would say the first thing is I had to stop pushing. I had picked up some bad habits from a coach who was really, she was really respected, and she was very pushy. Like, you got to give me your yes in 24 hours. And you got to, I need to know this price is going to go away, that kind of stuff. And I had taken that on, and therefore I had taken on like misaligned clients through that push energy. They weren't like the nurturing soul sisters that I really want to work with. So what happened for me is I basically put up an energetic wall and kind of stopped the money flow in my business. And fortunately I had savings. And I feel that this is something that a lot of entrepreneurs don't talk about. We always talk about the high income months. And it was such a powerful lesson because fortunately I had put money aside, and I'm married. And so I was able to kind of, live and be comfortable while I revamped my business from the inside out. Because when I tried to push, when I tried to go into that kind of hustle mode, it bit me in, it just bit me in the butt, so to speak. And I was like, I can't do this. I really need that alignment. So I took the time and I started studying. I started reading books, and I started journaling, and I started getting into a mindset practice and implementing everything I learned. And that was sort of my 4-month moment where I just developed the ideas and brought them into life so I could have a really grounded, stable business model, and not this like fluffy thing that I'd had before.
No, definitely. Actually, I think that's a great point that you're making, because I think for many of us entrepreneurs, we've been kind of sold this idea that you have to hustle. You always have to, be, like do and say, we have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And what we don't realize is that you need to take a break. You need to relax. And actually, one of the things I learned even for myself is that when you actually relax, things flow and things work out on their own. Right. But it's sort of like even for me, like sometimes I have to say something that I love to dance, and I even love the beach. Although, thank God I do live in Miami, so it's not that far, but I'm not that close to it either. But, in some way people talk about, like I was reading an article just like 2 days ago this week, and they were talking about how things are shifting in the coaching industry, whatever. And this woman is like, you need to get off your, get out, leave the beach and get off that lounge and get to work. And I'm just like, okay, you know what? I mean, of course, I'm not one of these entrepreneurs that I'm going to be like, basically I can just be laying on the beach every day, like 5-7 days a week and not do any work. But I think this whole notion that they're telling us that you have to hustle and you have to hustle and you have to push, that doesn't resonate with me.
Right.
And it's like, no, you don't need to do that, because actually to me, I feel like that's a lack mentality.
I agree. And and that is disempowerment. That's the opposite and that I feel that any sort of blanket statement is very, I'll say the word delicately, but it's almost dangerous, because the brain is so We are so tuned in, and we're really hungry, and we're like sponges. And so when coaches put out these blanket statements, like we're all cookie cutters, and I mean, I can see in that situation, like maybe the coach was trying to pop a bubble of illusion, but you really need to frame your posts. And now we're getting into marketing, of course, but you need to frame your posts, and you need to frame your messaging and give depth and give context to what you're saying. Because the same thing happens with money, where I know so many women that feel like there's something wrong with them when they're just starting out, because all they see is money, money, money. All these people are selling. There's something wrong with me. If you're not making money, you need to get it together. And it's like, look, like, you are a baby in this business. And even when you're in the business 5 years, you're still going to be learning how to your money management skills, or 20 years. So I just feel that all of these very generic, I just saw one today. And I thought, I'm going to ask this person why they're posting, because it's very generic, and you really need to think about who is on the other side reading the message, not this like power that just, it triggers me.
No, definitely. And I have to say, for me, one of the things that I've been seeing, especially, I mean, both of us are online entrepreneurs. Many people in my audience are as well. I mean, it could be a trigger, for me, but I have to say, for me, I don't like, at least it's not my style. Okay, let me just say it's not my style. As much as I could post on Facebook for like, maybe I could post like 3 times, sometimes maybe even twice, whatever. But there are people where they're posting like it seems like every hour they have like 3 posts. For me, I find it like, I don't know, I find it annoying.
Yep.
Because in a way, and sometimes like I'll go to bed really late, and then I'll see they were online posting, and then I'll wake up and I'll get online at some point, and I'll be like, they're post, and I'm like, okay, when do you sleep? Like last night I went to bed really late, and for me it's like something that I try not to do. Like I went to bed at 3, but I have to say too, I was making some soup at some point, so I had to get some work done. But it's just to say that, like, I am not for that. I am just not for that hustle. Like for me, I don't know. For me, I don't even like the word. I'm all for like, okay, because I think really if you're working, if you give yourself those 8 hours, and if you look at it, sometimes you don't even need it. Sometimes you might work more than the 8 hours, but just to say that, I don't think you have to be on 24/7 because you're an entrepreneur.
Exactly. And especially because the internet never sleeps. Yeah. And one thing that I've done as I've rebuilt my business model is I started timing myself. I have a timer called Toggle, TOGGL, and I clock, like I've got it on right now. So every time I do something for my business, whether it's get on Facebook, reply to emails, go to a meeting, teach a class, coach a group, I time it because I want to track how much time I need. My brain needs that like concrete sort of grounded. And then I also need to be seeing, that I'm not working too much.
Yes.
Because I do get burned out, and I get fried, and I have a delicate immune system, and I can feel like, okay, I just want to, because this week has been high energy. We were talking before the call, and it's like, I just want to breathe. Like I just want to take a bath, and I want to breathe. And so I feel that if we really nurture ourselves and do the inner work, the meditating, going to the beach, exercise, mindfulness, mindset, breathing, spiritual connection, creativity, that when it's time to show up, and it is a busy week, we know how to take care of ourselves.
Yes, totally. And it's like, sometimes I've often thought about it. I'm like, it's because for me, the beach is like a 40 of, depending on traffic, it's
right.
about, between 35 minutes all the way up to an hour and a half,
right.
maybe if it's like rush hour, you know what I mean? But I was like, my goal is to live like 15 minutes away from there or something. And I'm like, if I live 15 minutes, I might go every day some days. And even if it's just an hour, I mean, aren't we worthy of giving ourselves an hour to take a break? So totally. So I'm curious. So for you, because what you talked about, the steps that you're starting to take, because I think sometimes when we're doing something new, when we're like used to this force, and then we're realizing, wait a minute, I need to take a step back. I need to implement more self-care. I need to take care of myself. Did you experience any resistance, or what did you struggle with in the beginning?
Patience. Patience is what we all struggle with. So it was the patience and the giving myself the grace and allowing myself to really heal and allow myself to be supported. I found that I was worried about judgment, like judgment from my husband, judgment from my family, because everybody kind of looks to me because I am in the spotlight, and so they kind of are always, well, what's Celia doing? And so, a lot of times, like how many clients you have or the amount of money you make is how successful you are. So I really had to work on my mindset and be patient and trust and believe that, with this change that I'm going to make a greater impact, because the worst thing is when you're working your tail off and nobody's responding, and you're not getting new leads and your posts aren't converting and things like that. And I feel like sometimes spirit and the universe like puts us in a situation where it's like, you have to change, or your soul, your higher self. It's like, you have to change because you asked for this and we're trying to give it to you. And you're acting from this like really small, limited way that's not spiritual. And you've got to change the path. So it was the patience and the trust of getting out of the brain and into the heart was the big thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you know what? I could really resonate with what you're saying because, for example, like last night, like I have this special offer going on right now. And then I'm like doing, there's just so much going on. I had to do the interview with you. I'm talking to other people about podcasts. So it's like, I'm doing many things. And then I went to bed really late last night. And I said, okay, I'm going to sleep in because, and I actually woke up earlier than I thought I was going to do. And, I'm in Miami. So where are you?
I'm in Wisconsin.
You're in Wisconsin. Okay. So you guys have been getting cooler already. But so we had a cold front. And when I say, well, we dropped in the 50s, which for us, that's a cold front. Because we had been in the 90s and everything, but it seems like, it's kind of changing, but we're going to go back up, but at least now we're going to be like 60s, low 70s in the evenings. But last night so yesterday I've had to cut back my morning walks because it was so hot. So this morning when I woke up, I said, you know what? I'm going to go for a walk because it's in the 60s, and I was like, I'm going to give myself that time. I'm going to go for a walk because, there's somewhere where I drive like less than 5 minutes and I just go by, there's I think it's a man-made lake, but it's by the water. I walked there, I sat there and meditate. Like that normally when it's around this time of the year, that's like my routine. And I said, I'm going to do it. I did wake up later than usual because I went to bed much later than usual too. But I was like, I'm going to do this for myself. And it felt so good. It felt really, really good. And it was like, okay, I'm ready for my day. No matter what happens with anything around work, I'm taking care of me.
Right.
And I think a lot of people don't do that,
Right.
We don't do that. And we don't even realize how it's so important for us to do. Because in some way, when you're like, it means that you're not trusting, kind of like what you were saying in a way that, the universe is saying, okay, I'm ready to give you, but you're like blocking it.
Right.
Totally. Yeah. So tell me, what are your thoughts on women empowerment?
Well, I love it. I feel that, I just actually taught a women's empowerment class last night. And I feel that women really deal with a lot of these societal views on who a woman should be, how she should act, how she should behave. There's like all these invisible rules. And so I believe that when we can just break through those false belief systems, through empowerment coaching and through, trust and getting to know yourself and your gifts, that we can make a greater impact. So I'm very, very much a supporter of women's empowerment and helping women to get confident and to get out of hiding. I believe in it very much.
Totally, totally. Now I'm going to kind of take a step back because I realized I wanted to ask you about this. Can you share for us, just so we know, since, is there something that you mind sharing with us that you've noticed that has made a difference in your business and in your life when you took that step back and started taking care of yourself?
Yes. So what I found was that I used to just, get on Facebook or open my email, my email software. I would just sit there and write something and just be like, okay, I need to just channel it in and write it, and I would kind of put myself under that pressure, like I needed to get something out there. And so what really has changed my business is taking the time to be really clear about what my mission is, like the big picture of my mission, not my goals, not my money goals or anything like that, but my mission, like what I stand for, what I'm about, balancing the soul and the strategy. And then always making sure that my titles, like my headlines that I use, my messaging, my posts, my videos are in alignment with that. And if they're not, I don't post. And that has saved me so much time because I'm not wasting all that energy. And so that's my model. I don't know if I introduced my model that I built, but it's called Infinitely Empowered. And it's got 3 pillars, which are be, create, do. And so the being is like what we talked about, the self-care, meditation, journaling, mindset. And then the creating is like taking the time to actually be intentional with your business and intentional with your messaging. Mm-hmm. And then you go and you do. And I found that you get way better, more quality people showing up, more interaction. So it's not necessarily like these huge numbers, but it's like you're getting people that are interacting and they're on board and they're implementing what you're teaching because you're modeling it. So it comes back to that you have to be the model that you say you're going to be.
Yes. Yeah. It is so important to walk our talk, right?
Yep.
Totally. And I love what you shared because something came up and now I think I may have lost yes, when you talk about being inspired, that is one thing that I have learned because I don't post just to post. Right. If I'm not feeling good, I'm not going to post. Right. Because I really know that my energy is going to, and I know I pick up people's energies.
Oh, yeah.
I pick up people's energies from their posts. So that's one thing I've learned myself is that, like, because I used to post sometimes, like, a while back, I used to post just to post. Like, oh, well, I've only posted once today. And I'm like, you know what? If I don't feel like doing it, I'm not, because I know it's not going to feel natural and I'm not going to get the response that I'd like to get from it. And people are not going to get the value from it because I'm doing it from a place of like, I have to do it, not right. Because I truly want to do it and I truly want to be of service,
Right.
Totally. So tell me, what do you stand for in life and why?
Well, I think I just introduced that, which was my being infinitely empowered. And so what that means is that I balance my sort of grounded business, daily business, because I'm a businesswoman. I love business, but also really being connected in with the divine and being connected in with source. And that I believe that we should be going toward that 80%, 80-20 of 80% taking care of ourselves and creating and spending time with family and enjoying life. And then that 20% work. And so, taking that time to get in touch with what you want, hydration, nutrition, energy, rest, creativity, inspiration, working with coaches and healers that really empower you. And because I found for me that I'm at a point where, it's kind of general, but this is what my soul is saying. Like, I don't really need a business coach, you know, cause I'm kind of up to date on the strategy stuff. Like, I need more, high performance or spiritual stuff. You know what I'm saying? You reach a point where you transcend. And so I feel like that's where I've kind of come in my business. So I really do stand for like conscious entrepreneurship, conscious business, being the change that you want to see on the planet. You know, because that's just where my soul has led me. Like that's the answer when everything else doesn't work. That's the answer that just keeps coming back, is that spirit connection and bringing that here.
Yeah, totally. What do you believe the world needs more of, and why do you believe it does?
Mind-body connection.
Okay, and tell me why do you believe that?
More presence. Because we're so many are disconnected, you know, and then looking to be fixed. You know, looking for, because you're passionate about politics, you know, looking for politics to, you know, to change, and therefore your life's going to get better, and looking for, and this is really, you know, again, to my whole core of our topic today, is that all the answers are within you, and that change can only start by you committing to your highest and greatest joy. And so the mind-body connection, the powerful presence in the technology digital age is it's just very necessary.
No, totally, because it's very true. It's kind of like what you were saying, that I think a lot of times, especially in the current times we're living in, where, you know, people may be thinking, well, you know, if I'm not happy with the politics, I'm not happy with the government, then I'm not going to be happy. They're waiting for things to change, or my business is not doing well right now. I don't have any clients. So if people feel like this, then suddenly like, oh, I'm not going to be happy until I have the clients. I'm not going to be happy until I have the money. You know, there are people that I know that they're not working now, and they're like totally miserable. Like it's like until they get that job, they're not going to be happy. Some people, it's the relationship. Until I get the relationship, until I have the children, you know, till I get the home. And it's like, you know, I love that, because as you were saying, being present, because, you know, I don't know if you listen to Sadhguru.
I have some, yes.
Yes. I listen to him sometimes. I listen to his things, and he said something, and I thought it was so powerful. And I mean, it's like, you know, it's like, you know it, but when you hear it, it was like a reminder. And I didn't share it specifically to my post this morning. But, you know, he was saying that, because this guy was saying, who is it, like, basically, like, what are 3 things that I need to do to be like every morning, something like that. And and he was just like, you wake up, be grateful for that.
Right.
Like, be grateful for you're alive, because he gave the number of people that don't wake up every morning, that they die. So he was saying that, be grateful for that. Like, check in on your loved ones. They're alive, be grateful for that, because he was basically saying that, you know, be grateful that you're alive, because you still get a chance to, you know, and what I wrote this morning is that, say thank you, because no matter what is going on, find your joy, embrace it, because you have another opportunity to do and be better, you know, because I think sometimes we're always sort of like, and I think that's what I'm hearing in a way, like we have that lack of presence, that we're expecting circumstances and things to change in order for us to be happy, in order for us to be present, you know?
Exactly.
So totally love that. So tell me, if you believe in life purpose, and do you have one? If you do, and do you mind sharing it with us?
Yeah, I believe that, and I believe that a large portion of the planet, everybody is either outwardly or secretly calling out to know their purpose. It's very important. So my purpose is to, at one level, to bring conscious business and consciousness to entrepreneurs and empowerment to entrepreneurs, that spiritual empowerment. But then at the same time, it's to teach about relationship building, and that sometimes we think our money problems are purely money, and they're actually relationship problems. You don't know how to connect with your people. You don't have that ability. So that's one of my main purposes is right now, because for me it evolves.
Yes, it does.
Based on kind of what I'm working on and what I'm focusing on, and our gifts are vast. And so that's another one of my purposes, to really tune my clients into their gifts, their really highest soul gifts, and also their intuitive gifts, so they can learn to work with them and create the business results that they want through learning to communicate with the universe, synchronicity, and manifestation practices along with business. So that kind of goes with the conscious business
Totally.
work.
Okay, great. So this pretty much concludes the interview part. I mean, I don't know, you kind of told people the type of work that you do, but if you want to tell them, I don't know if you have a little bit more you want to tell them about you, your work, and where they can connect with you. All the info will be under the video, where you'll be able to have, so people, you're listening, you don't have to write it down. It's all under the video. If you're listening to us through Apple Podcasts, same thing. You can look at it. You can just visit my website, www.lovelikecoaching. So go ahead, Celia.
Sure. For me, it's one thing I wanted to add is that I am incredibly multi-talented. And throughout my journey, I had people at different times say, you're trying to do too much. You're trying to offer too much. And then I would cut myself off. And so I found that my business really flows well when I have different things that I'm putting my energy to. I don't believe in having just only selling high-end coaching. Because for a long time I had stopped doing private sessions, because I do Akashic Empowerment sessions, which are kind of like Akashic Records readings. But then I also do, if that's somebody who just needs a transformation and they don't want to wait. And then I also do my ongoing coaching, 4-month coaching programs, where we go through the gifts and then we build out your business strategy and systems. And I provide a lot of free content. I have a Facebook group called Infinitely Empowered High Frequency Biz Owners and Change Makers. And my website is celiafaymeisel.com. And then we're also sharing a link to a presentation I did on the 3 foundational frameworks for high frequency business owners, where I elaborate more on this be, create, do of the infinitely empowered business model.
Great. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
So now I'm curious. I have to say, I have been seeing that word, and, sorry to be asking the question towards
No, it's great.
But I was just, because I was I'm curious myself, and I'm wondering if maybe there might be people in my audience who are curious about it. Tell me about this Akashic. Yeah, because I keep seeing people say, yeah, I do Akashic. So tell me about it. What is this?
Yeah. Everybody does a little bit differently the way they work with it, because there's different trainings and modalities. But the Akashic Records are a multidimensional energy database.
Okay.
So they contain all of the information about a person. So a lot of people know about it through, they think it's how we find out about past lives. So it's more past life information and information on the soul. But it's an energetic database, sort of like a library. And when somebody wants to work on kind of tapping into their Akashic energy, I can get information, because each practitioner is different. I can't really speak for them, but I was trained with one teacher, but then I learned another model, which is even better. It's way more empowering. But when people come to me, it's because they want to know their gifts. They want to know what energy they should align to create success, to create abundance in their business. And then I also know how to help them tune into the actual past life information, where we bring in gifts from past lives to kind of create mastery in the present life. Because time is infinite. It's always working in a circle. And so we can access all of those layers at once because they're just in another dimension. It's not really like past, present, and future. It's more dimensional.
Okay, great. Thanks for sharing that.
You're
okay.
welcome.
Okay. Yeah, great. So that was really great. So thank you so much for answering my question and joining me today. So I hope you all enjoyed this and you'll go check out her gift, and she has a free gift for you. And she also has, you'll go and connect with her on her website and social media pages. And I wanted to tell you, so for me, if you enjoyed this and you really want to, you don't want to miss any other episode, you can please subscribe to my email list below the video. Under all her information, you're going to see a box where you can enter your email and your name. So you can subscribe to my email list so that every Thursday when a new episode comes on, I share it I'll share it in your inbox, so there's a new one on. You'll also, when you sign up, you'll get every week, every Tuesday, you'll get tips and inspiration from me through an email, a blog, or a video. You'll also be getting, when you sign up instantly, you'll get within a few minutes after you confirm your subscription, you'll get my free gift, which is my 7 questions to help you reconnect with yourself and your message. So that's what I have to share about today. I hope you all enjoyed us. Thank you again so much, Celia, for joining me and sharing your light with us. So everyone, until next time, love and light. Take care.